Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to that podcast that's for the culture, that's for the people, where it's unapologetically authentic, where we hold it down doing big things because we ready to rise in 2026. And what better way to rise than talking to the man behind the scenes of ITU? They're doing major things. They're talking about, better finances, better growth, and, helping you break that stigma that we all deal with because nobody wants to be forever looking in their wallets. And they just canceled out the penny. So we can't even say all of is down to my last cent because they don't even want you to have that anymore. So, ladies and gentlemen, I bring back the return of my brother from another mother here to hang out and keep me some company tonight. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Zay Holmes. Welcome back, my brother.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, guys. I'm so glad to be here, be on this podcast episode. It's going to be really, really good. We're going to have some really intense conversation, I believe, just about the finance world and things that are changing dramatically. If you don't know me, I am Zay Holmes. I am a coach at Independent Trading University, a technical analysis coach, and we teach and groom day traders into making a career and living out of understanding not just the markets, but how to benefit and how to take advantage of these markets day in and day out. You'll get day trading plans help develop and put you in the position to really be successful and get consistent in this arena we call trading. Now, a lot of people think, though, this is going to be the way of the future. This is something new. No, man, this has been going on for over 60 plus years, where day trading was happening on Wall Street. People were trading retail at home, and that's become maybe a little more mainstream now. But don't get
Right.
it twisted. Trading is nothing new at all.
I dig it. No, you're right. It's just the nuance of, words change, but the identity of things still remain the same. So I can
Hmm.
understand where you're coming from in today's society because we're living in a time where we're just recovering from a government shutdown. We're watching the value of the dollar no longer equivalent to what it used to now, and yet we're still facing so much debt in America. And then comes the trading that you speak on, like you said, that's been around for over 60 plus years. So, what do you see it doing for the economy for us that's trying to make a way?
We're at a time right now where the biggest wealth transfer in history is happening right in front of our eyes, and for some of us, even right under our noses. And you got to understand, for the Black community, in some areas, this is a new whole arena, right? We've never even witnessed, this digital currency becoming so active and so, accepted by governments and countries at this level. So the importance of being involved and understanding that, hey, money's changing. Yeah, there was a time where there was gold and silver. Yeah, there was a time where we traded for different things. Then it became, using currencies like the dollar, like we're used to. And now we're going through another change because we're going into a digital age. I don't know if you guys been paying attention, and maybe I might be dating myself. I might be considered young in some eyes, but the gaming industry has groomed and groomed generation after generation to
Yeah,
utilize
absolutely.
currency in game, right? Taking our own worked for money, putting it in the game, and then using that money within game. That is now going to become the reality, right? So we have to get comfortable saying in real life, this is going to be the exchange, right? Now, think if you had the ability to take advantage of a gold rush, right? This is
Right.
about how that is, right? Being able to go and stack enough of something as it gains value. So imagine how many people went all the way across the West to get as much gold as possible, and now the value of gold is $4,000, right? This is about the same idea we're looking at with cryptocurrency. So having that idea and understanding where you how to position yourself with that is knowing, look, every month, every week, whatever, I need to be storing some to the side. So if they do transition and say, hey, look, we're no longer accepting dollar at all, no more bills, we're only taking XRP or we're only taking Bitcoin, you're in a position to be able to still be good and still have that money. And you won't have to cross your money over at whatever that price point is, right? Bitcoin's $100,000 a coin now. Now, I'm not saying that's going to
Absolutely.
be that's going to be the end all be all coin. I think we'll have a transition to some more important coins. But we go through these things. At ITU, this is what we talk about day in and day out. These are regular conversations for us. So to not be in the loophole could be very
Uh-huh.
detrimental to your finances, right?
Of
Not
course.
understanding that, hey, look, I need to start a business because you can't work your way to wealth. You can't work your way through this. When they stop using a lot of employees for a lot of jobs that we know a lot of our people hold, and they go full automation. What are you going to be able to do? You're going to want to
Right.
be able to transition into business. You want to be utilizing automation in your business because then you won't be, blindsided by these changes.
Of course. So, what would you say are some of the factors involved in making these type of transitions?
Well, of course, there's going to be the monetary ones, right? Whether you get into business, real estate, day trading, I mean, what have you in the business and investment realm, money has to go in first. You've got to one learn. Yeah, you got to pay for that. That ain't never free. So getting the
Of
books, going
course.
through trainings, right? That's all part of it. Getting coaching because you're going to be operating almost like an athlete when you get into business or into finance, right? You got to be thinking about how can I position myself with good information I can utilize immediately, right? So let's get through that threshold. And then if you're starting a business, do you need, supplies? Do you need materials? Do you need a location? Do you need a physical location? Some businesses are all online now. So can you put yourself in a position to be 100% online and save some of those expenses? You know what I mean? So you think
Absolutely.
about those things and getting involved in that way. Now, as a trader, it's a bit different. For us, we have the ability, one, to get coaching, but you don't have to use real capital as you grow and learn and practice the skill. They do offer demo accounts where you can practice at different levels. Whether you have a $500 account, $1,000 account, $10,000 account, you are allowed to practice in a demo phase where it's digital and it's fake currency. It's not real money. So that allows you to try to hone your skill set. Now, once that skill set is honed and you're like, okay, look, for the last 3 months, I've been trading with $1,000. I've been able to stay consistently making $200 a week, $300 a week. Then fantastic. You have a track record. And now you can go and use real money by choice. Now you're not putting your capital at risk. You're giving it to somebody who's a trained professional. And that's our job at ITU is to get you in that position to coach you to where you feel comfortable and confident in what you're doing and build your skill set.
Awesome. Because, a lot of us we tend to tense up at these words of better financial growth and trading
Mhm.
and allowing our money to make us money because, we come from a time where we're used to being scammed and fraudulent
Mhm.
activities to where people are really, really afraid to, give up that last dollar. So I think what you're doing by implementing, the whole stage of let's practice with it before we go on to the real deal. It makes you a real
Mhm.
handy, I would say, using an analogy, card player. We prep you before you go to the big leagues, and I big you up for that.
Most definitely. And that's in any realm, guys, no matter what you decide to do. People that operate at the highest levels, and we're talking about in performance, this is financial performance, they have coaches, right? For their maintenance, for their food, they have coach for their
Mm.
meals, everything. But those of us that may be in a lower financial tier, we don't see the importance of coaching. But I'm telling you, I don't. The highest levels of CEOs, the highest levels of business owners, all have coaches for what they do. Why don't we? And why can't we utilize this, to get to where we're trying to go? And not only that, I just want to touch on what you talked about with risk. I mean, think about it really, what isn't risky? Everything you do in life, the moment you are born, is born with risk. When you walk out
Right.
the day to day, you don't know you're going to make it home every day. You don't know if the meal you're going to eat, when you go out to eat, is going to be, something sickly at that point. So we've got to understand
Absolutely.
that there's always going to be risk in life. And what is a life with no risk but a boring one? So I just think it's really important that, yeah, are there scams out there? There's tons of them. There's tons of them. There's always going to be scams. But just as much as there are scams, there are things that work. And if we're too afraid to do anything, we never take that step. You got to let the past be the past and be willing to take the next opportunity and try and try. That's the only chance you have. Otherwise, you get caught up in what? I'm just going to work my way. And then when they come knocking on your door and they're like, hey, look, we don't need your services anymore, then you got to go find
Mm.
another place. But if every company transitions to automation because it makes financial sense, like if you own a business, you're going to say, yo, if I can save, $50,000 paying somebody per year to have this bot come do it one time, I'm going to do that. So as workers, we got to have that backhand way out, right? We got to develop something in the back end because you can get scammed in business. You can get scammed owning a laundromat, right? It doesn't matter the
Anywhere
endeavor.
is a scam. Exactly.
Right,
You know
right.
what they
But the
say, they'll shall beware of false advertising.
Right, 100%. So just being having awareness, learning from previous, like if you're getting into a situation where you got scammed out of money or anything of that nature, what's a different way I can approach this, right? What's different questions I can ask that would alleviate this? Is there a track record? Do they have people that are already involved in whatever endeavor is happening to show that, hey, no, this is something that people have done and continue to do, and it's becoming successful for them.
Right on. Um, so, how early on do you think would be the time to be properly trained to start investment? Like, do you see a specific age gap or any of that
Not at
requirements for
all.
that?
No, not at all. So when I first got started, and this was in 2017, and I was actually just transitioning in the military to becoming a government employee, trading had been something I've always wanted to do. So when I first started getting coached, there were other clients who were 17, 18, 19 years old, but they were running 4 or 5 figures a week like it was nothing in high school, going into college, college students at home in their dorms trading. This is something, guys, where it's not a matter of about whether or not you make money because Wall Street does it every day and has been doing it for a very long time. Banks have been doing it for a very long time. It's just something that's not spoken about in our realm. So the first thing we have to do is check those resources, like I talked about, as far as coaching is concerned, and then we got to understand that we're trying to develop a skill that is not given to many. I mean, we're talking about doctor level, lawyer level. This is a very high level profession. So if you're going to get involved, you're gonna have to come in with a little seriousness and know that who am I working with and am I willing to learn? Have I put myself in a position to be willing to be taught? A lot of us go through college, we'll go through college, come out, and never pick up a book again. That's not good. Every day is forever learning. So when you get into a niche like this, just know it's gonna grow you. It's gonna require you to operate at a higher level of being to understand like I'm taking what I'm learning about the economy serious because I can position my family with this information. So it's not a matter of, in my mind, am I getting scammed? But hey, how can I utilize this? What's the most I can get out of this program? And once I find out that I can't get a lot of it, that's trying to get me where I'm trying to go, I'll go to the next coaching program. We're willing to learn is the only way we're willing to grow.
Indeed, man, I love that. Uh, what would you say like is what inspired you to want to take up this? What were some of the experiences that light bulb came on for you and say, hey, this got to change my life?
Yeah, it happened at a it started at a very young age. I don't know if you guys remember the highlight magazines that used to be in dentist offices all the time.
Okay.
So it's a weird story. I'm gonna come with this, but this is literally how it happened for my life. I was going through this highlight magazine, young age. I had to be like 12, 13 years old. And it was the first time I ever saw a car that was worth 7 figures. And coming from where I'm from, which I'm from North New Jersey, is like what kind of person can even pay for this? Like it didn't even add up to my mind that this even exists, right? So
Right.
once I had got my first computer as a teenager, I did the research, and the top 3 ways to make money at the time were investing, real estate, or owning a business. That's top 3. Graduating with a college degree was 4. So for me, it was just the thought process of how do I even get involved in those top 3? I don't hear anybody talking about it. There's no school discussion going on in my high school about it. So it was it always felt like something I could never really attain. But I said, if it ever happened in my life, number one, I know it does what it's supposed to do because I've heard of Wall Street kind of out there a little bit, but you never really understand it until you get involved and you see the kind of money that's really made. And then you got movies like what Wolf of Wall Street came out. You've got The Big Drop, stuff like that. So those movies kind of give you an eye into that world. So that was enough for me to know like there's good money to be made here if you're willing to learn, you're willing to show up every day and make this happen for yourself. You can do it. And I'm a living testament to that. And a lot of our students are living testaments to that to say this is not impossible, but it is a high level. And there's a standard you got to have about yourself. And I believe that a lot of our people need this type of opportunity to get from where they are to where they want to be because there's nothing stopping you. There's no boss to say like, hey, look, you can't clock in today, you can't put extra hours in. There's no control, but the control you decide if this is important for you to attain. Like a business, you got to commit. If you're committed to the business, it'll grow. If you show up and learn and put these things into practice, you can make it happen. And a lot of our people right now, we may be at a threshold where it's like, dude, I've just been working nonstop, grinding my hands off. And
Right.
if you had a little more information, you could do some different things, and you could be making money a lot differently.
And that's totally right. Because without knowledge, you fail, right? We don't know
Mm-hmm.
things, so we're going, the blind leads the blind. And, when you talk about money and growth, especially from the minority perspective, the only ways we know of, building money is through doing illegal things to, try to be
Mm-hmm.
that. Because some of us come from the neighborhoods. Well, the first millionaire we seen was the neighborhood dope boy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The
Right.
only hope of future success we had was having an athletic child or some sort of talent that goes, if you can make it out the hood, then I know we're gonna be straight. But we often see too that with that comes is a lot of jealousy and envy in that. So
Yeah.
how do
How
you
that
kind of
plays
tend to
in.
deal with that? Right.
Once you start to get involved in other arenas to bring in income, whether it's running an Airbnb business or doing trading, or some people rent cars, some people sell clothes, have their own clothing, online and Instagram. You realize that there's enough money out there for everybody. These devices, thousands of dollars, right? Thousands of dollars for these
Yeah.
devices. And people don't even realize that people are generating income from these phones on a regular basis, whether it's having a YouTube channel, whether it's building an Instagram. But what happens is we don't support each other. So the beautiful thing that we put together, even with ITU, is like, look, we're not just trying to teach you how to make money out of the markets. We want to teach you how to make money in the markets and then use that money in business. And then guess what? We have a community right here that's going to support, that's going to come out and listen to every video you put out, that's going to buy clothing every time you put out something new. Why can't we? Why can't we support one another in that endeavor, especially as traders? And we just literally are funneling money from one location market into each other. And now our businesses grow. See, the thing I learned, and especially if you're a religious person, is look, we're meant to be dominant here. We're not here
Mm.
just to exist. We're here to own. We're here to thrive. So if that's going to be the case in point, we got to do it together and we got to support one another. So if we're going to go through this threshold, that's what's happening right now in the workforce. We got to do it hand in hand. So why can't I take my money and say, hey, yo, steady, let me put $5,000 towards what you got going on because I want to support you just for love, man. Just because money is just not, it's just a thing now. It's no longer my all and my entity. It's now, it doesn't define me
Yes.
anymore. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm now defined by my own, moves. And if I want to support what you got going on because we in the same community, I can do that. I can go and like I told you before we got on the call, we had a student this week alone do 175,000. What? Where's that happening at? You see what I'm saying? Like,
Please
there's
point me
very
to that
few career
direction.
fields, right? There's very few career fields that's even possible, and especially for anybody off the street. So one big thing always for me was to be in a well financial position. But if I ain't got to be known, I don't want the celebrity of it. I just want to help those behind me as I go along, and that's what the whole community is kind of built on. And my coaches know that as well.
Right. Because speaking of what you just said in that last line, you made me think about Houston rapper Chameleonaire, right? And we all known him for the song that put him out there with Riding Dirty and so forth and so forth. To watch him get into like trading and do a whole 180 his career, and now you
Hmm.
look at it, it's funny how it's perceived, right? Because you watch somebody from a hood, considered hood mentality, that was putting out this type of urban music to just becoming a successful, billionaire, just deciding
Hmm.
to change. Even T-Pain is now, like he's saying now, he's learning how to invest better and make smarter financial
Hmm.
decisions
Hmm.
because he wasn't educated beforehand. So now I feel like once we get that knowledge and the education that we need to thrive, it changes how we feel about money now. Now you see other avenues of ways of getting money.
Right, right. Because you got to get in the rooms. I can't tell you guys how important it is right now to be getting in these rooms where these conversations is happening. Because even if you, and like I saw a young lady said that she had got scammed 5 years ago, what you don't understand is the power in which you learned is that if you learn from the appropriate person, is that understanding economics and the economy, you understand things that are being said where the news might make just talk of it. And I know a lot of our people are used to watching the news, but you'll be able to see and hear something from the news and know, oh, this is what's about to happen with that market because Trump said this, or because of something he said overseas, or Jerome Powell is a big catalyst for moving the market. But you'll understand what these things mean as far as where to put my money, and you can check things like, yo, is Apple down today? Or I might be able to capitalize on a move on Apple, or I might be able to capitalize on a move on Best Buy or Netflix. Like Netflix just had they tried to buy Warner Brothers. If people knew, like we knew, Netflix was in a beautiful position for purchasing some of the stock. So getting to
Okay.
do that before the news dropped because we understand how to read the markets, then we're able to capitalize on when they come out and say, hey, look, we're about to purchase Warner Brothers and you see Netflix stock shoot up. You're able to take advantage of something like that. Or Disney comes out, and says something the same thing. Let's stop just watching
Yeah.
these shows and let's make some money off of these people.
And that's exactly what it is. It's real life Monopoly, right? It's the board
Right,
game of, hey, before you land here, let me let you know that you can pay me X amount of dollars because you own my property now. I've invested in
right,
this. And if you want to buy me out, if you come with the right amount of coins, then we can gladly make that exchange.
right. I mean, some people don't even know, like you can borrow against your stock. If you have 10, 20, $30,000 into a stock and you want to make another investment, you can borrow against that money and not even have to take it out. So you still can make the money off the stock going up while we're using credit off of the stock to purchase property or some another investment.
Interesting. So we got a quick look at our comment section. We got a shout out to you. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Saying what up,
hey,
Professor?
what's going
Hey,
on?
he out here hanging out with live with DJ Steady. Much love. And of course, we have Miss Sean, and she wants to know: do you trade for people?
Not at the current moment. It is something I'm thinking about doing, but there's a certain level of headache that comes with trading for other people's money, and I'm trying to get myself conditioned for that. But if I'm even going to take that step, but I find it a lot better for people to learn to understand because if you can understand what's going on, even if it's somebody that's like, if I was trading other people's money for them and doing say a hedge fund or something like that, if you're not aware or have understanding of the basics and foundations of why whoever you've given your money to is making decisions, it could put you in a very bad place where you're panicking, you don't understand why you might be seeing negative in your account or whatever. So you got to understand what that trader is doing. So it's really, really important to at least get the groundwork of understanding.
Yeah, oh, she said, "Oh man, yeah."
I would love to. I would love to. But listen, man, that's a whole nother situation.
Come on, Sean. Let's try to convince him, man. I think he'd be great at it. I think if he take me and you on, I feel like what he just didn't he just tell us earlier when he do the little practice round. He give us a couple practice rounds
Hey,
to see
hey,
how it
look,
work.
I could teach y'all a thing or two now. I can put you in position.
Exactly. We ready. We ready to put our chess pieces on the board.
That's what's up. And to remind you, I think the last time we even talked about crypto, Bitcoin was what 20, 30,000 maybe.
Exactly. See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
playing around now. You gonna he wants to leave money on the table, people. That's what he was. You done had two
yeah.
willing
Hey,
participants,
look,
and now he done
here's
what?
here's what you got to do. Here's what you got to do. Look, come to ITU Rise. It's a free event. It's a free event for my peoples. That's this is our gift to everybody else for the holidays. It's January 14th. You gotta tap in because you're gonna get that game that you're looking for.
You want to school that? Take a quick look, people. The ITU
Yes,
Rise
sir.
2026 year of action because it's a free 5-day virtual training experience, and you can't beat that, people. It's free. We like it free. So you go to a free event and you learn how to come out and be a millionaire.
we're gonna get you in the right vehicle. That's number one. We're gonna get y'all guys started off right because it's the top of the year and it's gonna be an amazing year. I don't know if you guys know, but the last time Trump was in the hot seat, it was money made the whole time. And that is no different happening right now. The markets are looking wonderful and been paying very well this year. Matter of fact, we've had five people get funded over 50, 150, two people got 50K in funding, two other people got 100K in funding because there's these challenges that exist out there. So certain brokers, if you can show you got the skill and you got the talent and you've been working, they'll fund you 50,000, 100,000, $250,000 and split you 80, 20, 90, 10 on the profits. That also is a thing.
All right. She wants to know where is this. So I believe
It
she's
will be
speaking on
virtual.
the rise.
If for the
Okay.
Rise event, it will be completely virtual. Be once you get registered, you'll get a Zoom link to the event, a schedule for the event. For those of you that are VIP, we've made it very special. So VIP members, first off, your payment goes to a donation to the GraceWorks Foundation, and they help with those that are coming out of prison or kids coming through trauma, come and rehabilitate back into society. And then just as much, every morning for VIP members, we'll have a motivation and mindset call with our mindset coach Daniel in the mornings, and then you'll have a Q&A prior to every session, and then you'll get bonuses and books and things of that nature. So we're really trying to equip people at different levels, at different tiers. We know everybody's coming from a different place, but there are perks in other areas.
I love it because I'm gonna be the first to say it here while we lie. I'm definitely a slow learner, but I'm willing to learn if you're willing to teach.
Hey, you got it, brother. We're gonna take it one step at a time. We're gonna make it happen. Each and every person can learn this thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love the energy. I love it, people. Y'all need to get tapped in and get into with this. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna be a can't miss event. Like
Yes,
this man is
sir.
working hard,
Matter
and
of fact, look,
I'm all
steady. You
for
could
it.
you could run that clip.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. He said run that clip. So I'll sit back and enjoy this clip, and hopefully gives you a little more information to what we asking questions for.
In 2026, traders cannot afford to sit on the sidelines. This is the year of the action takers. The year you make a decision that changes everything. At Independent Trading University, we build an experience that brings together what traders have been missing for years. Mindset that keeps you stable, economics that keep you informed, technical precision that gives you direction. One complete system, one community, one path to independence. From January 14th to 18th, ITU Rise 2026 will take you through 5 powerful days of coaching, clarity, and next level growth. This is your chance to level up with your coaches live, build your personal trading plan, and finally break the habits holding you back. General admission is free. VIP access is optional for those ready to go deeper. VIP $27 admission includes morning motivation with Daniel, pre-session Q&A 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, recording access for 7 days. Enjoy 7-day enrollment to ITU. Part of admission will be donated to the Grace Works program. Receive a discount on the ITU 30-day bootcamp. Digital copy of ITU Trading Guide $4,000 worth of value for $27. Whatever path you choose, one thing is certain. If you want 2026 to be different, this is where it starts. Register now at rise.myitu.org. ITU Rise 2026. The year of the action takers.
Let's go, baby. It's the year, man. It's the year. A lot of people already feel I'm gonna break through to that 5 and 6 figure levels coming up, man. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. We'll change a lot of lives.
You have to. The energy is needed because we don't. I feel like we don't want to. The fear of not having that money we used to. Growing up. With relying on Big Mama and Big Daddy and seeing how they used to. Work so hard day in and day out to watch their money, acres of land, and build hopes
Mhm.
and dreams for that future. So to be kind of a pedestal up for us to kind of come in and say, you know what, we want that life. We want financial security. What more do we want to ask for than to be financially secure? And, again, I'm gonna use the term allow our money to make us money rather than work hard for
Mhm.
money that you never get to see. Because, every time you think you reach that plateau, it's always something getting higher now. The cost of living is going higher.
Right.
The cost of food is going higher. The cost of medication and supplements have gone higher. So
Yeah.
it's just so many things that's unattainable that I feel like this event should kind of give us a little leniency into, what, maybe this should help me be able to be financially stable.
No, that is 100% correct. I mean, for our communities, we got to understand. Just in history, we playing catch up, right? We know that a lot of other people have just kind of been out here enjoying themselves the last 500 years and having a
Of
good old
course.
time. So it's really important for us to understand where we are in history because it is the responsibility of our generation. And I'm saying if you're, you know, 80s and 90s kid, it is a responsibility of our generation to take things into the whole next level. We cannot carry the same beliefs from the past that's going to make up and help us in the future, especially with things changing as fast as they are. How amazing would it have been if you could have capitalized on things like Apple or Best Buy or Netflix back in the 90s, but now it's our time, and we have the gift of technology to visualize and see and track this information where we did not have that power before. So, how can we use the scope and power that is in our hands to start to get our capital back up and start moving in different directions? How can we open more online businesses? How can we secure more support? How can we support one another?
Right.
Because that's a big thing. Like, even my family still holds belief that people aren't really out here helping one another. Like, what are you talking about? I'm very well traveled at this point, and I've got people all over. And if I ever have a problem or issue, I can always tap in with these friends. I can always tap in with people who understand this mindset, that got each other's back, that understand supporting one another. That's just not my reality anymore. So what you got to understand is when you go through this, you're gonna have a shift in ways of thinking, shifts in beliefs that have to be taken care of. And this is why our program is set up the way it is. It's not as simply as I'm gonna come in here and read some charts and make some money. Nah, because you're making decisions on a day by day basis. No different than a football player has to decide in that moment what they're about to do next. You got to do the same
Right.
thing. So we got to break down barriers of belief and rebuild the right belief systems that'll help you win. And that's the mindset. So what we're looking for, yeah, I'm here to help as many people as I can, but very few of you are going to be dedicated. Very few of you are going to show up every day.
Correct.
And those are the people that we trying to get through and get to, is the ones that's going to commit to themselves and commit to their journey. Even if you don't do trading, if you even go start a business, you will have to have a certain level of commitment. Even if you start real estate, nobody else is going to show up but you for you.
That is true. And that's what it's about. It's being present in the moment to show up for yourself, to decide that this is what you want. Because if you're like me, I'm one of them people who I'll give you $1 million business tip and then I'll retract it and be like, you know what, I take that back. Because, like you said, it's all about how you've been conditioned to say, well, I don't deserve to sit at the table and, eat the steak and the lobsters and all this wealthy food. Put me back over here and I'll just settle for, the chitlins and all these things. Even though it's a delicacy, I'm not putting no shade or disrespect on it, but it's the way, like you said, that mindset has came is we settle for average is what I'm trying to lead to. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
right.
And
Until
we don't
we're
like we need to
comfortable.
go
Yeah,
exactly. Come
yeah. Exactly, and there's no place in success for complacency and comfortability. If you want to be comfortable and let the government take care of you, put a blanket over your head and feed you, by all means. But if you're going to jump out here and make something happen for your life, you're going to have to take risks, and them risks might come with some lumps here and there. But ultimately, each risk you take is getting you closer to where you're trying to go. Because the hardest thing you guys are going to run into is going from one business to the next business, from one opportunity to the next opportunity, because you got to understand there's a threshold where you earn the right to be there. And if you don't go through the downside to get to the upside, you're going to be stuck in the cycle loops of business after business. You have to commit to
indeed.
it, and get uncomfortable
Commitment
with
is
it.
key.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No, man, because again, I was just funny how you saying all these things. I was just having a conversations with one of my good friends, and I was just like, you know what? If that government shut down and teach us anything as 2025 closes, it taught us that you can't be still sitting around here waiting on handouts anymore. They're basically telling you,
Mm-hmm.
look, we done went through our commission, we done reached, we're at the bottom of the barrel for ourselves now. It's Robin
Yeah.
Hood now. We done took so much from the rich to try to give to the poor. Time it's the other way around. And the rich just do things to try to stay rich. But it just depends on how you feel about those things. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this
Right.
wonderful event
Right.
that's going on. And so tell me, how did you connect with the members that are going to be a part? Like, how did y'all all come together with the same common goal in
For
mind?
sure. For sure, for sure. So I was, like I told you guys, I was in a previous coaching program that had ended up shutting down due to really the coaches in the lead of the program. They weren't really seeing eye to eye with things, so they ended up dissolving. So I proceeded to continue my trading journey. I ended up getting a couple of mentors. One I paid a pretty penny to learn, because at that time when I was starting, you had to cut off $5,000 to learn from anybody at the professional level. Um, so I paid a pretty penny to somebody, and then I paid somebody else a little cheaper side monthly kind of subscription thing. So the first person gave me a lot of the advanced techniques, and the second person gave me more of the basic foundation again, because I had to rewrap, after that program dissolved. So about 2019, I got my first threshold of success. I went from $100 account to $3,000 over the matter of 5 days, or so, and then I had a bigger success of like $20,000, $40,000 days in 2020. So during that time, I reconnected with a couple of coaches from my first program, and they were in huge distraught about how things had went. And from my understanding, I do have a background in business. I am certified in coaching as well, and I understood that this is something our people need. So connecting with Michael Franz, who's our economics coach, and connecting with Daniel Schuler, who is our mindset coach, these guys have a lot of history, and the information that they can give and provide to traders is impactful of another level. Guys, you understand, like, a lot of what my students have gone through from their childhood traumas and things like that have caused them issues in our environment for trading, because the way they see themselves as an authority is not really there, due to the authority that they've dealt with, whether it was military or their parents or family. You've got to work through those so you can become a strong decision maker. So those were two key pieces that we needed to be able to put something together that we felt would change the dynamic. Again, we've gone through the scammers. I've seen the scams. I've seen the people go through old organizations and MLMs with trading. No, screw all that type of stuff, man. Excuse my language. But this is a niche that pays you. I don't need to scam you. Whether you don't believe that the economy is making money out of the market is irrelevant to me, because it's a reality. Wall Street out here printing millions on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so if
True
you don't want to
story.
be involved in getting some of that for your pocket, that's on you. But I promise you this: we're going to change the game, and we're going to give people a real platform to come learn and really make some money, and change the way they see the marketplace. Because you got to understand, you can't work your way out of this. I promise you that. And if 2020 didn't open your eyes, I'm going to tell you this: they gave money knowing everyone would put the money back in the market. That's how that went down.
Ooh,
They knew each and every everybody that's out there that received the stimulus check was going to right back and spend it at the store. And it's going to what? Prop us up.
exactly. It's it's just no right. You just know it, and it's that gentrification system stuff that goes. What you give it to them for free, they're gonna turn right back and give us double back.
Right. And it's hard to tell people, especially from our community, man. I tried 2020. I'm watching, guys. I told you I'll be this in a minute. 2020 was the bottom of the market for the last 5 years. It has not gone back to that level. So if you would have taken that stimmy and put it into anything, you could have thrown it blind and made some bread. And it's just been stacking over the last 5 years. But if you're not paying attention and you're not, educated on this level of information, how did you know to take advantage?
True.
Like many people have. So this is very, very important for us to get involved and touch base on this type of info.
I totally agree with that. So, like, what is the recruitment process? I would say, like, how does somebody like who wants to get involved but don't know the route to go? Like, how do they get in touch and contact with you and your
Of
team
course.
to say, "Hey, I want to be a part of this"?
Most definitely. So we're on just about every platform, but for starters, you can go to myitu.org, myitu.org, and at that website, you just click enroll, and that will take you to the enrollment process. You enroll just like any other educational platform. Once you enroll, you'll receive your first 2 weeks of classes. Now, no, this ain't a babysitting service. I'm expecting everyone, just like every one of my coaches, is expecting people to show up professionally. If you have classes to go through, we expect you to go through those classes. It's self-paced, so there should not be any like we got to call you and be like, "Hey, look, yo, you did your classes." Okay, we're not doing all that. Show up like a professional, get your class recordings, go through your classes. You'll have another load of classes after that. I mean, we've got almost over 100 hours of information for you guys to go through, and that's going to groundwork you so that when you show up for your first orientation, which we host orientation every Sunday. So after you get enrolled, come to orientation, we can guide you the rest of that way and get you prepared the right way. Every week, we get on Sunday nights and we look at the markets, prepare for each week that's coming ahead, what opportunities might exist, so that you can learn, you can understand, and have the room to answer, ask any questions you may have. And if that's not enough, guys, Monday through Thursday night, we meet every night and look for trade opportunities that might exist. So we're covering you guys from all bases. You have a whole route to reach out to Daniel for extra coaching or mindset stuff. We keep weekly overviews and reviews going so you can go through and look at your track record. And we can start building on that and seeing where your faults are. Where can we make adjustments? We're going to hand walk you throughout as much as we can. But there is a certain level of dog you got to have. I'm not even going to lie. You're going to have to be comfortable with taking risks. You're going to have to be comfortable getting uncomfortable, asking questions, look into what you would consider stupid, but to the rest of us, it's learning and it's a question somebody else may have that they wouldn't ask if you didn't ask, right? So
Absolutely.
show up at the highest level, ready to learn, and we're gonna get you there, right?
Right, and it's crazy because I can picture myself when you talk about being a student of the game, and I can remember being back in those school growing up, and I was always the one that knew the answer to the question that the teacher would ask, but then you kind of look around the room and you be like, I don't want to be the one to get the answer right because I know the answer. So you kind of hold yourself back, and then you watch everybody, and then you're frustrated because everybody shouldn't ask so far got it wrong. And then you just like
Right.
finally it gets to you and you're like, you're proud and you're confident. And now everybody looking at it like, well, look at you, Mr. Smart Guy. So sometimes I've allowed my environment in those situations to kind of dumb me down. So I feel like something
Mm-hmm.
like this, I'll be looking in the room and I'm like, look, me and my team, I got Nunu, I got Sean, I got Dazzy, I got so many other people that's going to be on my team that's ready to get to this money. And I'm like, come on, team, we got to win this.
That's right. That's right. And that's what you want is a growth environment. You want an environment people who support you, who hoorah you, throughout the entire process. Because it's already hard to begin with, right? You don't need naysayers. You don't need people in your ear with the doubt and all of that type of stuff. We are here to win. We're here to take this as a vehicle to other endeavors. Like this isn't even the final stop. There will be more that we do either as a community or supporting one another in each and every endeavor. What kind of community, you're not getting that a lot of places. So I look to take what I get done and help other businesses, help people in the community grow their numbers, get their things rolling that they want to get rolling. But this is just a vehicle, guys. This isn't like end all be all. This doesn't have to be your life and career. But if you can bring $500 extra a week out of the market, it could be life changing. If you can bring in another $1,000 out of the market, it doesn't even have to be major. Sometimes it's just the little things.
I totally agree. So, are there any collaborators that will be involved in the Rise event for 2026?
No, this will be an ITU strict event. So we all of our coaches involved. We are looking to bring in one more coach for a potential special day. We'll see, how things turn out. But if things turn out well, guys, you're gonna have everything you need in this first event, and this will be a yearly event that we will have.
Absolutely. I love that, man. So, I guess that same thing applies to any organizers as well, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, private event, what you want it to be just based on that because, not everybody hand need to be in the cookie jar, especially when you're talking about the finances and the thing, because this is the same domino effect of like you just spoke of the Netflix and the Warner Brother thing. So if you got people
Hmm.
tied in and they sitting there holding their stocks to it, It's like, oh, as soon as this go belly up, then I'm gonna take control. So you want to be like, nah, you got this over here. You sit tight, keep your coins over there. Let us work
Right. I
out.
mean, we'll get to having events where we'll have vendors and people come in to promote, but we're so focused in changing lives at the top of this year. This is a very important part of the year when it comes to those of us that trade the markets, is because most of the bigger traders that are moving millions of dollars throughout the market are on holiday. So when they come back January 4th through like the 15th, oh, markets are about to set back up to rear up again. So we really want you guys focused in that 5 days so we can show you live in the marketplace how things move, how things react. We don't want too many distractions. This isn't some big sales pitch or anything like that. These are true traders, true people that want an education and want to just learn and put themselves in position with this information. We will get to bigger events where we'll have other people be able to chime in and have vendors and stuff like that. But our key focus as we go into this is those of you that are ready to rise, that are ready to rise to the occasion of what's being asked of you, because the world's changing. And if you don't make that step, it's going to be very difficult for you, especially in the next 4 years. So it's really time to step up and stand out.
Indeed, indeed. Are there any, like, how can I kind of work this? Like, any required, like, what's the requirements of taking this money? Like, what's the seed amount
For
needed
sure.
to watch this grow?
For sure. So if you are, and I'm going to give you kind of both from the learning perspective and I'm actually trading perspective. So if you're looking to learn, again, we have two options: $45, and that's for those that want to do this more part time. You like what you're doing, you're just looking to make some extra income off of this. Fantastic. We can teach you an entire play that will work for you individually to run on a week to week basis to build your trading foundation. For those of you that are looking like, yo, this is something I love, I want to do full time, like understanding the economy, being able to trade from my phone and stuff like that, and I'm going to be able to do it on the go. That's more career. You're looking at 55 a month. Now these are pre-sales, right? We're grounding the foundation and trying to give as many people the opportunity to come in at such low prices before we do have to rise them to people who are more serious. See, the thing about the price point isn't about we want your money. This is, am I wasting my time? Okay,
Yes.
because I want to spend my time with people who are serious, and you got to understand people don't take things serious at certain price points. Okay, so if we're going to give you guys the time that we've spent the last 7, 10 plus years, almost 40, 50 years combined of education in this program, we expect you to show up serious. Okay, so for now, take advantage. Okay, take advantage while you can. Now, if we're talking
As
about, hey, how soon do I get a return on my money? Well, that's going to depend on a few things. How quick do you learn? How quick can you apply what you've learned without, second guessing, hesitation, without quitting and stuff like that? Just staying key and following the exact plan we help you develop day in and day out. Because if you can be that disciplined, then yeah, you might be successful in 3 months, 6 months. But for some people, don't compare it to Joe Schmo that just works at McDonald's and takes trash out. Okay, sorry, but we talking about doctor level and lawyer level events. So if you're going to play at the highest level, you got to understand there's time involved. So you got to be willing to put in that level of time. If it takes 4 years to get your degree, maybe you're going to be putting in 4 years to learn. I don't know how quick you learn. I don't know how much effort you're willing to put in. But I know if you show up every day, you're a lot closer than when you started.
Absolutely, and I think a lot it's a lot of the conditioning that plays a part of that, and you know, like I'm saying, just I'm only going to speak from my perspective. It's learning
Mm-hmm.
how to not let people who don't have your best interest in that type of field psych you out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, like you said, I'm the type of person that I'm on. If I'm willing to take risk, and I'm gonna take my last $100, and I'm gonna invest and watch my last hundred, gross me $100,000, then I have to be willing to take that risk.
Right.
It's a gamble. Like, for me in my field, it's like I'm hungry, but I need to be able to, get this job done and get paid, like you said. So I'm like, in order for me to be able to eat tonight, I need to book some shows. I gotta take the risk
Mm-hmm.
of I'm gonna be hungry for a few hours, but after I get the job done, I won't feast afterwards.
Right. No, most definitely. And you're just in the starting process. If you're just getting started in podcasting or anything, you guys got to recognize there's a period where ain't nobody showing up to the show. You got to do it enough times to get them viewers in,
You do.
right?
Indeed, it's the same scenario. I kid you not. And then I'm bad with the moments of taking hiatuses for months, sometimes too. Like this
Mm-hmm.
last go round was
Mm-hmm.
probably my longest hiatus, and then it was because of an equipment malfunction issue that took so long. And I sit there one day, a light bulb hits and go, "You realize the amount of money you done grossed that you can spend on just door dashing within the run of a week and buying other things like just frivolous spending, you
Right.
know it's the same
Right.
money that you can sit and go, oh man, I got a business. I can take that same money, get me a new laptop, and what they say, you can give a man a fish and you can feed him for a day, but you can teach a man to fish and feed him for a lifetime. So you know what that means, brother man?
That's right.
That means you're gonna have to learn how to go in your refrigerator, take some meals out, and cook them meals. And DoorDash can forget about it because you helped making
That's
DoorDash
right.
rich when Live with DJ Steady is over here sitting in the negative zone.
That's right. That's right. See, I like DC Young Fly had a video I seen, and he was just like, "Look, man, you got to keep cooking. You got to,
That's
no
my
matter what's
favorite
going
video.
on,
I know exactly
you
what
got
you're
to
talking
cook,
about.
right?" You know what I'm talking about. So
He talking
at
about no
the end
matter
of the
how
day, man,
tired.
the next 4 years going to pass. 2030 going to come. Companies are going to automate and more and more. They're going to try to hold it off as long as they can, I'm sure. But the time is going to pass. And you either have started now and gotten to further and further ahead in the next 4 or 5 years, or you didn't start at all and you're just doing what you've already been doing. But if it ain't working, it's just about the time to change. This is the time to try to do something
Right.
different.
Right. If you remember, like in the early 2000s, that little college commercial with the guy used to, advocate for that particular college. And you're like, look, you're
That's
sitting
right.
on the couch doing nothing with your life anyway. Like, it's one of those moments where you got to coach yourself and be like, look, you sitting there doing nothing but just cheeseburgering it out or whatever you just frivolously spending money on. When you could have
Hmm.
sit there and now you could franchise. People fail to realize McDonald's was franchised.
Yep.
Crockett
Yep.
got in, saw some guys putting together a chain of fast food service with burgers and fries, and he wanted in on that. And look how he was able to capitalize,
Exactly.
on just getting out there and taking that risk, going from just selling, products out of the trunk of his car to now, sitting back with a legacy of I'm part of one of the biggest fast food chains in America today.
And that's how it works. That's how it works. Now, outside of all of that, now what you may need as far as equipment, some of you might be concerned, oh, do I have the right equipment? I, I trade on my phone. You can use a tablet, you can use a laptop. As long as you've got a pretty decent laptop, you can go get a laptop for $200. So what I like to tell
True.
people is like if you're sitting $300, $400, you need a laptop and you need an education and a practice account. And a practice account is free. Those three things, and you can be on your way and getting started. So it's not like, oh, I got to invest 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Nope, ain't none of that. Oh, I got to go start people. It's an MLM. Nope, ain't none of that. It is just literally getting education. And then once you got the skill and you feel like you're solid and got your foundation, please go live your life. Okay? We're not, nobody's trying to hold you up from nothing. Go enjoy yourself now. You done did it, right? That's the name of the game. But if you want to stay and be a part of the community where we do community events and stuff like that, then that's a different type thing. But dude, we're just trying to put people in position in an endeavor that many don't even know they can take advantage of.
Right. And that's what is more needed, right? Because I'm thinking back to, we love to speak on the stories of our ancestors and their fight to freedom, and
Mm-hmm.
using Harriet Tubman as a reference. Like, what if she would have just been like, instead of taking that risk, risking her life to get not
Right,
only herself but
right,
people she cared about over that line to freedom? You know what I'm saying? The world would probably not be as predominantly far as it would have been. If Martin Luther King Jr. didn't have that dream, that risk to stand out there and deliver that, you know what I'm saying? You look at all these people, these iconic, monumental people who all took risks and put their lives on the line because they
right.
believe in a better tomorrow.
100%. That's right. And I feel the exact same way, man. And it's our responsibility right now. Just think about it. At their time, it was their time, but we so A lot of us get so ingrained of thinking about that time, we don't understand stuff we got to be doing in our time. Like there's some stuff right now that
Yes,
we could be
yes,
doing with the advancements that we have in this day and age, and we're not even using them to do the same thing because we think everything's a scam, right? This it's
hmm
not going to
but
work. It's
but look
not. Some
how
people didn't
ran
though. Don't think some people didn't think Harriet Tubman was a scam. Some people did. Don't get it twisted. Some
absolutely.
people did. Okay, so
Bro, you don't even know the half of it. Like, think back to when TikTok crashed and that whole
hmm
thing, and how crazy they was quick to put up a fight about a social media realm that was owned from a foreign country versus why don't we just pitch our money together and create the same type of platform and product for us, made
right,
for the people by the people.
because the country loves passive income a little bit better, right? So of course they want their hand in the pot. If TikTok gonna run, we got to get our cut off for that.
Let
You
me
know what I
go.
mean?
I'm gonna come for you. What's your boy?
But check out fan base.
Okay. Right.
So
My partner was just telling me about that one.
hmm so that's a step in that right direction, like you're looking for, like you're talking about, which we are on. So you can look up at ITU on fan base. We on there too.
Bam, there you go. That's right. Let's take this opportunity to plug in all your channels, all your
Yes,
networks,
sir.
all your team, and all your shout outs. The floor is yours.
Most definitely. So, guys, again, it's Independent Trading University. You can find us on Instagram at Independent Trading University. You can find us on what's the Threads, um, Facebook, YouTube, all same deal. Independent Trading University. We're on all platforms. You can Google us as well and find us all through there. If you're ready to get started and check out what calendar and what's coming up for us, go to myitu.org, like you see below. You guys can find all the updates that are coming up. You can see blog posts where we talk about the crypto market, the economy, Trump, what's being talked about, how you can take advantage of what's happening in the marketplace on a day by day basis, how to position yourself for success. These are really, really important. And if you guys are serious about it, you're serious about getting involved, or you're new, just getting started, we're here to just help beginners and intermediate get their path started off right. So be sure to link up with us. You can enroll again at myitu.org and catch us at the MITU Rise event for 2026. Guys, it's a free event. We're going to get a lot of people started right. So make sure you show up and show up ready to win notebooks and pens.
I love it. You know what I'm saying? As mentioned here in the flyer, you know what I'm saying? It says here that you can build a disciplined trader mindset, master price action and structure, time trades with real economic conditions, construct your 2026 trading plan, and you can learn how funded traders grow accounts. So I feel like this is a needed event that you need to attend, and the dates are scheduled for January 14th through the 18th of 2026. And you know what I'm saying? You can either contact, all you got to do is send out DM or comment rise to rise.myitu.org. It's free general admission. And of course, if you're really serious, and I know you're really serious, why don't you upgrade the first class and get that VIP upgrade? Because I'm sure there's a lot of vital information that you're going to need, people, a lot of tools that will help you grow. Let's stop living in the past and let's create, break these generation curses and create generational wealth. And this is the path to get there. Rise 2026.
Let's go. Let's go, man. It's going to be fantastic. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much for having me on.
All right, man, the pleasure's all mine. I love when you reach out. I love connecting. And when you came to me, it was a no-brainer, you know what I'm saying? So I thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come chop it up here online with DJ Steady and Company. Well, we always have real, unapologetic, authentic conversations over here. And ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our segment. We hope you learned a lot. And once again, people, in case y'all missed it, that website again is myitu.org. This has been Mr. Zay Holmes taking time out of his schedule, hanging out. I want to shout out to all my people from social media realm. Thank y'all for tuning in, for listening, for wanting to learn more. You feel me? And a quick comment over here. I like this comment right here. More people should have tapped into the podcast. I appreciate the love. And of course they will
Yes,
because
sir.
it
Yes,
is
sir.
streaming everywhere. If you missed it, you can always check it on my YouTube channel at Live Steady and Company. And of course, if you're not that big fan, catch the audio available on Spotify, Apple major podcasts. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to close out. We thank you for your time. We're going to get out of here. And you know, my motto is if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Good night, folks.
I know
Rise
that's right.
2026. Don't miss.